Well, welcome back to NBL Overtime. I'm in the host chair once again, which means that our fearless leader, Felix von Hoff, is still away enjoying himself in Dublin. He'll be back at some stage because we've got plenty of NBL left. The Christmas game has come and gone. We trust you had a very Merry Christmas. A couple of days left in the calendar year and plenty to chat about. And I tell you what a big show we have. I couldn't believe my eyes when I walked into the studio today because Lanard Copeland is back on the Overtime set, fresh off the plane from Adelaide. Copes, man, welcome back.
Welcome home, man.
I couldn't believe it either. I couldn't believe it, fellas. It's good to be back. I want to talk basketball. I got a lot of things on my mind.
How was your trip in Adelaide? We'll talk about the game. It was a massive game, but the environment in the game is fun over there with Drury. Quick day trip?
Absolutely. Look, Adelaide, they did what they had to do, you know, but Perth started off strong for about 3 minutes, and then their superstar got hurt, and Bryce Cotton went to work. But there's some guards over there that I want to talk about as well.
Oh, yeah.
Did a fantastic job.
We got plenty to chat about in that game. We'll get stuck into in a minute. But Damon Lowery, fresh off the Christmas period, still continuing to do a whole lot of running, we see. A little banged up now, but how was your Christmas break?
Yeah, no, it was good, man. Caught up with the fam. My oldest daughter's home. So now I just did all the eating and drinking and all that kind of stuff. So now it's that weird period of the year when you don't quite know what day it is. You don't know what's going on. So I'm soldiering through.
I think us three in particular and a lot of our broadcast crew, we just know the days by are we working or not? That's right. Basically what it comes down to. We'll talk about the Adelaide-Perth game because it was a fantastic battle. We all expected it to be. Bryce Cotton doing his things in a quick second. But let's have a look at the ladder because we get to this point, a couple of days left. In the calendar year, the Mitsubishi Motors ladder, the Adelaide 36ers are the team to beat. They sit on top. The Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, who are in action later tonight in a big game against Tasmania. We'll be seeing Ian Clark. That'll be fun. Melbourne United, they get a win but continue to slide a little bit. The Sydney Kings, arguably, potentially the second, if not the championship favourites because they've beat the 36ers twice. What are we thinking? What jumps out at this ladder when you look at it?
Every week I always ask the same question. How many games in the season? And what do you tell me?
32.
It's 32 games in the season. That means nobody, well, outside of Brisbane and Cairns, and I know D-Mac thinks they still a chance, and mathematically they might be. But from 6, who's Tasmania JackJumpers, New Zealand Breakers, the Illawarra Hawks are still in with a chance. How many wins is it going to take to get the 6th spot?
A whole lot more.
Is it going to take, 14 wins to get the 6th spot? All the team got to do is win 3 games in a row, and they're right back in the contention for 6. So that's the spot that's got my main focus.
Well, again, a big double points game for the Illawarra Hawks against Tasmania in an Ignite Cup game on Wednesday. They just managed to lose to the New Zealand Breakers, which keeps them in the hunt. We'll chat all about that. But let's get into it. Adelaide and Perth. Copes, you were there calling that game. The second half was fantastic. Bryce Cotton showed, but everyone from Adelaide really stepped up. Perth, on the other hand, not a great performance. But when you look at it now, looking back, what stood out?
DJ Vasiljevic coming off the bench, he gave them that spark early in the first half. They needed it. But the guard play, Cotton, DJ, those guys, Cameron, for me, has been exceptional this year. He's having an MVP year for me. I mean, not the MVP, but for what he brings to the table and what he did last year, it's night and day.
Well, you've got an eye for good, Copes, so let's have a look at those 3 guys that you're talking about because they were really good all in their own right. We know what Bryce Cotton can do, but it's the other 2 really that are making life a little easier for him.
Look, Bryce Cotton does his thing, and he has to score, and we know that. But when you got guys knocking down threes and helping him out, then you can take a little bit of pressure off from Damon. He didn't have to be the Superman every night. It's great to be Superman, but sometimes you need a break. And that's what they're doing for him.
And DJ, one thing about DJ is he can shoot. It don't matter if he starts, he can shoot. If he comes off the bench, he can shoot. If he's in foul trouble, he can shoot. It don't matter. So when you got shooters on the floor, and Flynn Cameron is shooting 3-pointers is probably the best of his career, as well as being able to get on the rim. So the only thing I was questioning was whether when those 3 out there at the same time, do they get punished on the defensive end? But right now they haven't been. Mike Wells likes to go to that almost a death lineup where he just puts 4 guards on the floor and either Zylan, either Rakocevic or Ice, and just says, I dare you keep up with this. Right now it's working for him.
Are those the best 3 guards in the league when they're on the floor together? I'm posing this question to you guys. Think about it.
No, I think there's some other.
I'll straight away go to Kendrick Davis, Delly, Bullquall. Now offensively, those 3, I would say probably yes. But I know Bull Qual going to take one of y'all out. Oh, he's taking one of y'all out. And then Deli, on the other hand, too, can do a similar kind of thing. So I'm going to give the overall three-headed backcourt monster to the Kings.
Well, what's so important about this Adelaide team, and again, we've said a whole lot, is to get to a championship series, it's going to be your superstars. It's going to be the Bryce Cottons doing what they do throughout the regular season, semi-final series. But to go and win a championship, it's your bench depth. And now that DJ's really settled into that role coming off the bench, but also Flynn Cameron, I know he's not a bench guy, but being that complementary piece, it is so important for them to get over the hump and hold up a trophy.
Well, I spoke to DJ right before the game, and I asked him, I said, have you accepted that 6-role man? He goes, yep, I just do what I can to help this team. Now, again, is he the best 6-man in the league? What he's doing right now, the fact that he's accepted it and he's coming in and scoring and he's cheering on the bench, I got to give it to him because I know DJ very well. I never thought he'd accept this, but he's accepted it and he's doing well.
But, Coach, what choice do we got?
None.
He has no choice but to accept it. He don't like it. He definitely does not like the coming off the bench thing. But because he has no choice, he's like this, well, I'm not going to be a bad teammate. I'm not going to just submarine the team. Just know when I get out there, I'm going to be a flamethrower. That's what he's doing. It's working real well for him right now. And because they're on top of the ladder as well, had they been like on the bottom, it might have been a little bit more rumblings. But right now.
You asked the question, does he have a choice? Tony Brown is not playing great basketball right now. So there is a choice. If I'm sitting there, I'm going, well, I'm playing better than this guy. Why aren't you starting me? You know what I mean? But because they're winning, I guess the coach is doing it his way.
Let's talk about Troy Brown Jr. because he has had his struggles since joining the Adelaide 36ers. From obviously the resume and when he landed the first couple of games, what do we think is going on there? I know they're winning games. That might be masking a whole lot. Does he need to do a little bit more? Do they need to get more from him? Obviously, they were trying to figure out who gets in that other starting spot. The rest of the four are pretty figured out. What do we want to see from him going forward?
More playmaking. The reason why he's in the country, in the league, when Matt Weston went out and got him is because we need another playmaker to take some pressure off of Bryce. You get this 6'7" guy who's played 356 NBA games. What I'm confused about is how can you average more points in the NBA than you can do in the NBL? Is the NBL harder than the NBA? He averaged only 6, but he's averaging now, what, 5 for the 36ers?
2 in the last 3 games.
I'm not buying it, man. I know he's way better than that. So for whatever reason, he doesn't have that real alpha scoring gene, and he doesn't want to rock the boat.
Yeah.
But at some point, Coach, he got to really liven up.
But I think that's the key, right? You're coming into a team that's already set midway through the season, and your role is to try and fit in alongside Bryce Cotton, Zylan Cheatham, DJ, Flynn Cameron, all of that. But they've got another game against the Sydney Kings this round who have done really well at taking away Bryce Cotton in the last 2 games, and they've beat Adelaide. And I think it's a lot of fans are saying it's hard for him to get the ball to do stuff, but when he does have the ball, to be in attack mode and be a threat is the key, I think, that's going to be the difference between Adelaide getting to a championship series and being a champion.
Number one thing, right? You're exactly right. He has to be aggressive. And even like you're right, there's only one basketball, and you got everyone who wants to shoot it, so he's trying to fit in. But at the end of the day, we don't want you standing there not doing anything. Right now, he's not giving me anything. 5 points and 2 rebounds is not helping me. I'd rather put somebody out there that's a threat so I can help Bryce Cotton because they're going to double-team Bryce. So when I kick it, I need you to be able to shoot the ball. If you don't shoot it, you're not helping me.
You know, everybody ain't a one-on-one scorer. Everybody ain't that kind of scorer. You just give them the ball and they just get into their bag. He's one of those kind of guys that might need to have some plays run for him, not just spread the floor and just give it to him. In saying that, I still feel he can go inside. You can definitely post up way more.
He's got size.
6'7",
Yeah.
way size. So he can definitely do a better job of doing that. But as far as starting him, this is the way I'm at now because you're only going to give me so many points, Mr. Troy Brown Jr. I want whatever you give me to start, that's gravy. Because I know what I'm getting when DJ gets in the game.
That's right.
I need to be able to count on something.
Yeah, that's right.
So if I start Troy and he gives me, say, 6 first-quarter points on this, gravy. Because, like I said, they don't need his high-octane scoring to get a championship, I don't think.
Well, the other side of that game with the Perth Wildcats, who were really poor in the 3rd and 4th quarter and succumbed to another loss at the hands of Bryce Cotton. And another sour note, the David Duke Jr. injury. Now, we'll see what happens. He's undergoing scans today. If you're a little squeamish, look away now because your elbow, your arm is not supposed to bend that way. And hopefully the scans aren't as bad as they look here on the highlight. And why not? Let's show it 3 times. Let's zoom in and show it even more then. It's really tough. It can hurt them. As we'll see what happens with the scans and what they do if they need a replacement player. But the Perth Wildcats as a whole, losing Duke Jr., when you look at that second half in particular, what stood out to you?
Man, first of all, like speedy recovery because, look, we've seen. I think about Rajon Rondo when he was with the Celtics and his eye extended his and he was out for quite a while. So first and foremost, his health. But I feel like the Perth Wildcats are just rudderless. They don't know who's going to score, when they're going to score, who's going to get a shot when they come down the court. We saw Christian Doolittle struggle and then come out and regain his form. Then we don't see that again. I just don't know, Coach. It's just too much uncertainty in the backcourt. I feel like they lack in direction.
Not just in the backcourt. We saw Jolo Alachul not look happy. And we're sitting there calling the game, and he walked off. And I'm not going to blame the coach for that. I'm going to blame the player. Because once you get to this level as a professional player, you got to score. If you want to eat, if you want to live in a nice house, you got to score. Or you got to do whatever you're supposed to do. Role player, rebound, play defense, or score. One of the three, or you can't help me, okay? You can wave a towel on the bench, but I'm not going to pay you that kind of money, all right? But at the end of the day, if he's only taking 8 or 9 shots, that's not helping the Perth Wildcats. They didn't spend that kind of money for him to have 9 shots, okay? Now, at the end of the day, he's got to go up and put his arm around the point guard and say, hey, little fella, give me the ball. If you don't give me the ball, I'm not going to rebound for you. I'm not going to box out, and I'm not going to play defense. I'm not going to set high screens for you. Throw that ball inside. Let me get my taste of it, and then we go on.
He's one of the most talented offensive big men we have in the league, and I think when he's not getting enough looks, and they're clearly the Perth Wildcats aren't achieving what they need to achieve. But let's have a listen to JR post-game because these were some interesting comments.
We've been fortunate enough to regain some guys, so we can move forward in that area. But like I always preach to our guys, like they can be upset that they're not playing, but at some stage you'll get your opportunity, and when that comes along, you got to run with it. So unfortunate for David and whatever happens with that, but. Someone else gets their chance, and everyone, when they're not playing, thinks that they're a really good player and can help affect and impact winning. So when you get your moment, there you go.
Well, it looks like a challenge has been set there from John Riley. Again, we'll see what transpires with the David Duke Jr. injury, but some guys on the bench who perhaps want some more playing time, they're going to get it.
It don't matter who gets the playing time, David Duke Jr.'s minutes. It don't matter because I feel like they're not a selfish team, but they play selfishly because JLA, back to him, Copes, he can't run the plays. He can't get a rebound and come down and call his own number. Everybody that hits the court for the Perth Wildcats just tries to score.
Yep.
Who's the facilitator outside of Jaron, really?
Right.
Ben Henschel, he taking shots. Elijah Pepper, he taking his shots. Doolittle ain't turning down no shots. Dylan Wheeler ain't turning down no shots. And then you got the 7'1" guy who's averaging 17 points and 7 rebounds. Could be averaging more rebounds, though, Joe. Outside of that, he just standing there. And we've seen him when they played Adelaide and had DJ guarding them, Vasiljevic, and they oblivious. So I'm saying you can put all the firepower you want out there on the court on your day. You might be able to outshoot some teams, but you ain't serious about winning a championship if JLA is not your number one option.
Yeah, they do seem rudderless. I think that's the perfect way to describe it. And we'll see what happens with David Duke Jr. Hopefully it's nothing serious, but if he is set to miss time, will they go and replace with a point guard? We'll find out. And we mentioned Christmas Day, and again, you've always been on the nice list. You're never on the naughty list, so I felt it a bit rough that you got delivered some coal from the Illawarra Hawks on the Christmas Day game. Tough way to lose to your rivals on Christmas Day.
You see what happens when y'all lose? This is what I have to deal with. When we lose. Now, here's the thing, though. Like, no JaVale McGee. I mean, come on. That's a hurt right there. So, yes, the Sydney Kings are very, very good. The Hawks are very, very bad right now. In saying that, they still expected to beat the Kings, and it wasn't going to happen, right? Now, the beauty is Sam Frawley's back. The best Christmas present the Hawks fans could ask for is back. And did he mess around, Coach?
Not at all.
Nope. He got into the game, and there was 0 minutes restrictions. Let me repeat that, Pete. No, we don't play that in the gong. Ain't no softness over there. Sam walked out there like he never left. Double-double. Now, sorry, JaVale was out there for that time. Thank you, Pete. But the Twin Towers, I saw some good signs between the both of them. Now, the high-low needs to be worked out. It's going to take a while because it's still a little bit clunky.
It's interesting.
It's clunky, but you can see how effective it can be, though.
Now, is that going to work on defense, though? How do they guard a 4-man? Who guards a 4-man?
Like Xavier Cooks
and Harvey are out there.
Yeah.
Well, you got to give up something sometimes. But you got to make him pay on the other end. Now, Sam is the 4-man. I know we've seen Sam play 5 his entire NBL career, but I feel like he's a 4.
And again, the Sam Froling comeback, what an incredible comeback to do his Achilles earlier this year, and the way that he's clearly put in the work. We've heard from the strength and conditioning staff, showed up every single day. To come back the way he did, the way he is looking, it is a testament to the character and the hard work. So well done to you, Sam. Can't wait to see a whole lot more from you. But on the flip side, Coach, you mentioned having to guard power forwards. Xavier Cooks, he looked phenomenal, and he's very important to the success of this team.
He is back to the MVP, Xavier Cooks, because the ball's in his hands. Remember when the Sydney Kings first started, and Delly had the ball, and KD had the ball, and Cooks was just running around missing free throws? Well, not anymore. He's got his confidence up. Look, he's coming down the court. He's making the pass. He'll do the right thing. He'll get you going. He feels like it's still his team. He's making those little tough shots. And this is when the Sydney Kings thrive, when Xavier Cooks is running the floor and the ball is in his hand.
I called him the international mismatch because even when he plays for the Boomers, and I don't care who you put out there against him, if you put a 6'9" guy out there on him,
Can't guard him.
He's quicker than you. You put a 6'8" guy out there on him, 6'6" guy, he's quicker. Zave got the best handles on the team outside of Kendrick Davis.
Mm-hmm.
He can initiate offense, and he can get to his spots. You think, okay, he don't have a jump shot. Don't need one. He can get to the elbow. He can shoot floaters. He can get on the rim and get layups. Now that he is featured back to where he used to be in that familiar role, and Delly, credit to him, he's taken somewhat of a back seat for the betterment of the team, more of a facilitator, picks his moments when he wants to score the ball. It is KD 1, Xavier Cooks 2, everybody else fills in. That's the hierarchy. It's working beautifully.
They got a big game this week again against the Adelaide 36ers. But on the flip side, Justin Tatum and the Hawks, and again, we've seen some interesting technical fouls this year. And
Here we
JT
go.
had some comments after the game.
You know, being the champions from last year in this league really doesn't mean anything. You know, in my opinion, as like a respect factor. Yeah. You know, I get my technical foul for being happy that we found a way to get foul called, and but the other opposing team could probably do the same thing and just get a smile, right? So, but at the end of the day, no excuses here. Like I said, I tip my hat off to Sydney and their players and Coach Gorge and everybody on there. It is what it is.
Now,
Well, he's talking about the technical foul. I think that's what he's alluding to. There's a lot of other calls that were gone.
Preposterous. Absolutely preposterous. I don't want to hear it neither about, he might have been warned. He clapped as if to say, about damn time. I can't do that. I can't sarcastically clap. What is this? I mean, is this a communist country now? Is this a communist league? Like, damn, man. Like, I'm not getting the calls, and I give a clap. So what, man? The referee that blew that tech, too sensitive. And that ain't the first time he's shown how sensitive he is. So what we got to do as players, what you guys got to do as players and coaches, I ain't got to do nothing.
Yeah, we're washed.
But you guys got to work out who's on the floor. We talk about adjusting, Copes. You got to work out. This ref, we had some refs. Remember Roger Shields?
Yes.
You couldn't look at Roger Shields sideways. Eddie Crouch?
Yeah.
Them type of dudes, you just had to know when they was on the floor, be very, very careful.
let me tell you what's wrong with the Hawks. Let me just tell you what's wrong with the Hawks. Last year when they won the championship, they had two teams. They had a quality team that's starting, and they had a backup team that could beat the quality team. Remember in practice when they just imagine their practice, they beat them all the time. When you lose Days and Ulbrich and all these guys that play, and Todd Blanchfield was a lot better last year than he's playing this year. He's having a down year. But when you got guys that can come on the court and give your guys subs and still play better, then you're going to be the best team in the league. They don't have that this year, and that's why they're struggling.
Well, let's see if they can unlock something here with the Froling and McGee front court, which will be fun. Before we move on to the cupcake segment, Damon, quickly, from worst to even worst of the ranking of technical fouls, we've got that one there. We've got the John Brown ejection where he waved away, and Brian Goorjian's ejection from earlier in the season. Give us a quick ranking 1 to 3.
John Brown's was the worst because John Brown did he just like
one of the nicest guys in the league.
That was the worst. Brian's was second. Brian still don't know how he got that second. That's third. They all could be one though. They was terrible.
Well, that leads us perfectly into one of our favourite segments, and that is It Ain't No Cupcake League. Coach is excited for this one because normally he's on the other end, and I'll kick it off with some things I was looking at. And again, the open air, it's a spectacular event. It's unbelievable spectacle. The Phoenix do it, Melbourne United do it, Perth Wildcats do it. And so often we have to sit back and be like, don't blaze away from 3, because if you airball, we know it's because of the wind. But sometimes it doesn't end up like this. So here it is. Look, you throw down the young fella, the smaller guy, and then Jesse Edwards. You can't blame that on the roof, man. Had a quick little look at the hand too. When Nick Marshall falls down, you've got two hands for safety.
Yeah.
And this is that they were trying to spark something as well.
He did make amends, though.
He did make amends, but when you're trying to spark something, you're going to end up on the cupcake in that.
Now, look, this is the reason I came back. Forget about all the basketball talk. I came back for the cupcake deal, yo. That's it. I'm sitting at home on the couch eating my popcorn. Minding my own business. And what do I hear? Lanard Copeland did this, and Lanard Copeland did that. You guys are sitting on here talking about me like I'm just the bad guy.
That wasn't me.
So I said, let me just get a little montage of these guys and how they messed up. This is your fearless leader right here, looking like Ronald McDonald with the hair. And look at him sitting at home in the house like he's in his grandma's basement. And look at Sneaky Pete in the back. He's telling him what to do. He's all in his ear. I got Pete. Look at Damon smoking cigars, running around, making all the money now. Come on, bro. And then I got Derek. Derek got 3 guys on him with his eyes closed, and he's still shooting the ball. Come on, Derek.
Oh, my goodness.
Man.
I don't think you're going to be able to top that, Coach. So if you want to leave after the segment, feel free.
Oh, bro.
He's just taking over the whole segment.
I got one more, man. I got one more. I got one more. Derek,
Oh.
because Derek loves to kill Copeland, and Derek thinks he can outdress me. Let me just see this little jacket that Derek's got on. Baby jacket. Derek, pull your jacket down or give your jacket back to Joe. Because right now, that is not your jacket, my friend. He thinks he's the best dressed in the whole stadium, too. Look at him.
To be fair, Men's Club, we love everything about Men's Club. And when you do, there's a secret section out the back for the kids. And that's where
right.
Derek walked out there and
right.
went to the kids section.
That's right. Come on, bro.
Coach, you bored. I don't know that one, bro.
Hey, this is a tough act to follow, man. You better have some juice.
Okay. Hey, Chris Golding, CG43. Love his work, legend. But I'll crack up at the frustrations of CG. It's not funny to him. Look at this. He's like, damn it. Slap, slap. How many players slapped themselves in the face? So after this turnover, Chris is very annoyed with himself, gets subbed out. He goes to the bench. Give me that towel. What the hell is wrong with this? I just love the way Chris expresses himself, expresses his frustration, gets them all out, and then comes back out there and
I
balls.
tell you what, I would love to see just cameras on the bench the whole time. We'd see some incredible reactions. We'd see Ty Webster, some great content. Well, that was probably the best first segment we've ever had. Thank you very much for carrying us, Lanard Copeland. We'll be back to talk Melbourne United after the break. Welcome back to NBL Overtime, and to be honest, I'm a little disappointed we're continuing the show because when you start with such a high that was the first segment thanks to Copes, we've got a lot to try and pick it up for the rest of it. But let's chat Tasmania, fellas, because it was a mixed week for the JackJumpers. But importantly, they get the win over Melbourne United, which we'll touch on soon. But the New Zealand Breakers game, very, very crucial to them, and they drop it at home yet again.
And that's the problem. The games at home, I don't know what's going on. They're 2-8 at home. That's not going to get you far. This isn't the Tassie of old, man. They got some new players out there. They don't know the system. Something's going on. I don't know if Ross not having his cigar or what's happening.
Oh, no, he's having them.
He's having a cigar?
Yeah, he's having a cigar.
But look, PJC was fantastic in this game. Meninga started off quite well and did well. But Lopez, for me, we talked about Lopez right before the game, and he needed to pick it up. He was active, rebounding the ball, dunking the ball. And look, the thing is, New Zealand have had a lot of success against Tassie so far this year anyway.
But this is where I look at from a Tasmania perspective. And again, they're 2-8 at home. It's so it was a fortress. I mean, a couple of those have been regional. They don't like to play in a couple of those regional venues.
Injuries?
We've seen that. They've had some injuries. But normally, the way they can just defend at home and, hey, if we can't score, you won't score. That opportunity there off the back of the Melbourne United win to create some separation in 6th and 7th was massive. And that's an opportunity missed. Now they've got a similar double points game coming up against the Hawks. From a Tassie perspective, Damon, in that game in particular, it's a disappointing loss.
Terribly disappointing. Like you say, it is no longer a fortress, the MyState Bank Arena. It is now a cubby house. Everybody coming in there just running amok. And after they just took care of the Melbourne United, the way they showed up at home, and I've been on teams where sometimes it's so comfortable at home, Coach. You just relax too much and you just expect, we're going to play good because we're at home. Well, clearly they haven't, and New Zealand are desperate. And one thing NBL 26 has shown me, every time I think I know something, The most desperate team seems to be the team that wins. The team, because New Zealand just got embarrassed, and we're going to talk about that later against the Brisbane Bullets. They show up on the road and dish that up. So it's hard to get a read on any team at this stage because we knew that Tasmania would bounce back for that Melbourne United win. And then there was nothing to kind of bounce back
Anthony
from.
Drimmond's missing, too. Anthony Drimmond helped them last year a lot in home.
Energy-wise in particular, right, to come in there, be a bit of a pest. They've got to rebuild the nest. That's what they have to do because teams used to fear going down there to get the crowd. It's always going to be a sellout. Josh Bannon was a little disappointing in this game. It seems like they can't get everybody firing together outside of that Melbourne game. Copes, what do they need going forward? They've got a massive game straight after this to try and go and beat the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, which I think will give them some renewed confidence, but it's not going to be easy.
You got to slow Sobey down, first of all. Sobey's been on fire. But I like Tiger Camel and Ben Air, the way they play together. They complement each other. They help each other. Let them get up and in and slow the ball down and help that team to play some better defense because Southeast Melbourne have confidence against this team. They've done quite well against this team. And Sobey, the way he's playing this year, he's unstoppable.
This is between the ears. The talent is there.
Yep.
This is a full team. David Johnson's come off the bench. Nick Marshall is balling out of control now. This is their team. But what is it in your heart? What is it in your spirit that makes you just relax? How come you can't do it 2 games in a row? How come you just can't peel off a winning streak? It's something that them guys got to generate themselves. You know Scott Roth don't take no nights off. Right. It's not Scott Roth. It's the players. They need to get together and work out what is the issue, and it's only they can solve it.
Well, I got scared there for 2 reasons. Firstly, anytime you talk about hard, I'm worried your shirt's going to come off, and I didn't want to see that on overtime. And secondly, when you say 2, one of your fingers points the other way, and I don't think we all needed to see that either. Before we move on to chat about that game against Melbourne United from Tasmania, PJC, we need to start giving this man some love.
I've been giving him love.
He is flat out. I'm saying this because this is around the time we start thinking about all NBL teams and looking at the future. PJC, clutch once again, doing this with sometimes, like in this game, Isaiah Brockington didn't show up. Baker had a couple of fouls. Sam Menenga was terrific. Parker Jackson Cartwright is that dude.
One of the best 3 guards in the league. You look at KD, you look at Cotton, and you look at this guy. Now, because they're not up there, they're not winning a lot of games, we don't talk about him as much. But he has been terrific for his size and the way he's unafraid to go to the basket and get the job done. Not just this year, last year and the year before. He's been doing it every year. The guy deserves what he can get.
I'm not going to say welcome to the party.
Thanks. I'm on to trust.
I know
me,
you've been
the
there.
PJC wagon.
But just know, I don't even know. I'm just going to.
You can just move on.
I'm just going to bang the drum one more time. The little big man. He's faster than you. Yep. He's been small his whole life. He knows how. You think you can beat a tall guy on him? You put a tall guy on Parker. You think he ain't never done that before? He goes around guys. He gets his lefty floaters off. His 3-ball is real dangerous now. He goes to his left. He's got the little 3-ball happening. And then in transition, you can't stop him. And he defends Copes. You just can't have anybody bring the ball up around Parker. And now he's bringing players involved. Sam Menenga's having his best year ever because he's riding with Parker. And Isaiah Brockington, up and down a little bit, but when he is on, he is nice. But Parker, man, you can trust that.
He's all NBL first team for me. And again, I'm looking at it, I think we've got 3 locks. We've got Bryce Cotton, Kendrick Davis, and I think Nathan Sobey's going to be a lock the way that he's playing and the way the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix are playing. PJC's got to be in there. I know it's tough, JaVale McGee. There's a lot of other guys who are balling outside of that. But PJC deserves that credit to be in that conversation.
He's been solid, but what hurt him was he was hurt in the beginning of the year. Remember, he had the
rib.
He had a rib, and where everyone was talking about how bad he was, but he couldn't play, he couldn't breathe. All of a sudden, he got healthy, and you see the real PJC.
Come on, man.
He's balling.
Well, he is absolutely balling, and we love everything that PJC does. We do. I think everybody else is starting to come along for the ride, finally. Instead, we talk about the Tasmania-Melbourne game. Underneath the stars, great fireworks, spectacular. But on the Melbourne United front, this was incredibly disappointing, and Tasmania put him to the sword.
Now, what is going on, Melbourne United, right? We've been asking the question for a while. They squeaked out the dub against Brisbane. They could have easily lost that one. They get blown out at home. I've never seen that before. I can't recall the Melbourne United team getting just blown off the floor at home. But I feel like they squad. Dean has done some tinkering. I think he's over-tinkered. I think he's over-tinkered with it. Like, he took the 3 guys out of the starting lineup. He took CG out. He took out Tyson Walker. He took out Jesse Owens. Started Tom Coppins. Okay, to send a message. Was the message received? I don't know. They seem to be lacking that bite. Obviously, missing Finn Diesel right now is going to hurt him a little bit. But I got issues with how Jesse Edwards is being played. Jesse Edwards, he is averaging 13 points and 8 boards at 65%. How many minutes should a guy like that get, Pete?
I mean, you're right now putting a lot on Fabian Krslovic. And we said at the start, Jesse Edwards, we were locking him as one of the best Premier big men in the league, and his form has definitely dropped off, and so has Melbourne United's.
21 minutes a game for Jesse Edwards.
Does get in foul trouble an awful lot.
I mean, come on. Whatever, man. 21 minutes, though. That is not enough. I feel like Dean Vickerman is treating him kind of like Jesse Pinkman, how they treated Jesse Pinkman in Breaking Bad. He ain't Jesse Pinkman. He Jesse Edwards, Copes.
Hey, listen, at the end of the day, they were 9-0. So whatever was working was working. They had a bad game, and I think, and look, we know Dean Vickerman is the best coach or one of the best coaches in this league. We know what he can do. I think you're right. He tinkered with that lineup. These guys lost a bit of confidence. Edwards, I can see the confidence in him. He lost confidence. Walker and Milton Doyle, these are the quietest guys I've ever seen in the league. They're not the loud, rowdy guys. So he might have tampered with their confidence. Their confidence is down now. So now he's saying things in practice and yelling and screaming. They're not the same. They don't have that fortress around them anymore. And teams have come down and beat them now. They don't know how to act.
Damon, you mentioned Jesse Edwards. Let's have a look at those recent performances to really highlight where they're at. The minutes is one thing. Obviously, in Adelaide, he played a heap, but the rebound column, this is a guy who's just a walking double-double at the start. And again, 12 and 9, 14 and 9. That's not too shabby. That's completely acceptable. But we know he's a whole lot better than this.
And he's had his games that was not good. No, make no mistakes about it. Well, yes, he has had games where he has got himself into foul trouble. But it's how you manage it. And Dean often has the luxury of having so much depth that he manages like this. Sit down. I'll just put another guy in.
Yeah.
Sit down, just put another guy in. Okay, that might work and you might end up getting a win, but long term, how does that help a guy like Jesse Edwards, a very young professional? I like to see him on the floor to be able to play through some mistakes. Now, foul trouble is a completely different thing, but anytime he's got the ball, he's going to either dunk it or shoot a hook shot. Nobody can really guard him around the basket. I feel like we're not seeing the best of him because his minutes are not enough.
The leadership aspect is a big one, Copes. We've spoken about this, even looking at a couple of the games, watching them back. So when Chris Golding's out injured or sick and not being able to be around the team on the floor, Shea Ili, I know he doesn't lead verbally, but you know that if you're in a flat spot, Shea Ili's going to dive on the floor. He's going to do something defensively to spark the team. Their three imports as good as we've seen them be. Tyson Walker is phenomenal. He is a quiet personality. Milton Doyle, we know, is a quiet personality. And Jesse Edwards is a quiet personality. So you take away some of the key leadership. There is no Delhi there this year. There is no Jock Landale. There is no Mitch McCarron. So when the other two are out, do you think that leadership or lack thereof when those guys aren't available is playing a part of it? I don't think it's all of it. There's some technical side as well.
Absolutely, it plays a part. And what you got to understand, too, is Dean's never gone out and gotten 3 new imports.
No.
3 new guys, all quiet. You're right. Shea's out. Shea's not around the group. CG43's been hurt, so he's in and out, in and out. Who's the voice of this? Even Finn Delaney's a bit quiet. Who's the voice of this team now? Dean Vickerman's the voice, but as we know, we've all played, sometimes the coach can go like this and he goes right through his ear. Not bagging Dean, we're just saying you need somebody, a player that's been through that, to come in and say, guys, look, let's do it this way.
It's nice to hear you say how we've all played, because normally when the normal host sits here, we can't really say that. So it's actually nice to be able to touch back on that. Defensively also, I think there's some concerns because they're just leaking points. I think 95 plus to their opposition in the last, they've only won 2 games since the FIBA break. Dean Vickerman, one of the greatest coaches we've ever seen. We've seen that. I saw it firsthand when he was our coach, that when you go through offensive slumps, which they're clearly in right now, the one thing you could count on from a Melbourne United team is that, hey, if we can't score, you won't score. And we're not seeing that right now.
No, and they got the pieces there to do it. Fabian Krslovic is a great post defender. Kyle Bowen had it just coming off a really good game. He's very serviceable as well. But Jesse Edwards is the rim protecting guy.
Yeah.
He's a guy that when you do give up a shot and they miss it, he's going to go and get the rebound 9 times out of 10. And like I said, I just feel like it's just too much. The subbing patterns, it's like a hockey game. In, out, hard to get a rhythm. It's one thing if you're rolling, different. But when you're losing, Copes, I feel like you got to get a core, stick with them, let them generate the momentum, and then play off of that.
And I like Walker at that point guard. He's a phenomenal defender. He'll get up and in, get a couple of steals. In fact, I think he had 7 or 8 steals the last time he played. And the way he plays, but he's a young guy, though. All right, yeah, you're going to follow him or you're going to follow Shea? You're going to follow Shea, who we know has been there and done that and won championship, and that's what they're missing.
A lot of people are saying, obviously, they're back on the winners list. They beat the Brisbane Bullets, but if you actually go back and look at that game, they limped to the finishing line, so you don't want to look too much into that game.
No, not at all. I mean, a win is a win, and it's hard to win on the road, as we know, but that's not a win that made me think, yes, they are a championship contender. I do not have them as a championship contender right now. Wow. It's a long season, right? They've shown us early. And this is why a 32-game season is going to be some highs and lows. They are in a bit of a valley right now.
But then more importantly, they play a lot of games in January on the road, so perhaps they can get together as a team, bond a little bit more, and come out of this thing, this tornado that they're in right now.
Well, I tell you what, a lot of times in overtime we throw to a break and say, hey, we've got some big Brisbane Bullets news coming up. We got some positive stuff to chat about with the Bullets right after the break. Welcome back to NBL Overtime, and we promised it for the Brisbane Bullets fans because we're going to be hyping you up because you've been fun to watch. The joy looks to be throughout the entire club now since DMAC has taken over. I know they fell short to Melbourne United, but it was a spirited performance, and again, we'll touch on their win earlier last week. This is fun to watch now.
About time. To quote, I forget the movie, Remember the Titans? Attitude reflects leadership. Daryl McDonald, leader. Unquestionable, one of the best guards, if not the best to ever do it over here. Since he's taken over, Copes, he has simplified the game.
Yes.
Now, this isn't like, I don't want this to be confused with, oh, man, we're talking about our era. DMAC understands as a point guard, I've got a 7'1" guy who's better than 90% of you. We're going to get him the ball. Yep. And now look how Tyrell Harrison is playing with some just more focus, more freedom, more confidence, shooting 64% from the field, Copes. This is my man right here, Big Tyrell.
We called that game, and we talked about how simple it looked. Whoever was hot, get them the ball. You post them up, run them across the lane, post them up under the basket, get them the ball, and keep going. And you're right, they're playing for their coach. Remember last year when Illawarra talked about playing for their coach? These guys are playing for their coach. Now, I spoke to D-Mac, and I said, Mac, do you want this job? Do you really want this job? He goes, yes, I want it, but I do understand that Brisbane are looking, and they want to get a bigger name coaching here. But I know these players. I can get the best out of them. I want the job.
They're looking.
Let's touch on that because they have gone out and said they're doing a worldwide search for the next head coach.
They said that last year too, though.
But is this now a legitimate case for this should be an audition for DMAC because the team is playing spirited basketball. You talk about the technical side of it. They're throwing it into Big Tyrell, saying, hey, yeah, we might be doing this worldwide search, but if you keep performing like this, your name is absolutely a chance. And regardless of who it is, and DMAC should be definitely in that contention. I think that what they need is to, when they lock it in, is to back them in for multiple years.
Yeah.
You are going to face adversity as a head coach in this league, in any pro sports. You are going to go through form slumps. You're going to go through a lot of team chaos outside of your control. But to understand, it takes a journey to go and win a championship. So whoever it is, and if it is DMAC, who I think now should be a part of that mix.
First of all, I got no credibility. They going on a worldwide search has no credibility.
Yeah.
Second of all, Justin Schuler had a multi-year deal, saw what happened to him. So now, DMAC, I'm saying forget the audition. That's the guy. Remember when we said, we saw Adelaide, when Scott Ninnis took over Adelaide and all of a sudden they was playing like this, we said, oh, there's the guy right there.
Yeah.
He's right in front of your face. They signed Scott Ninnis to the rest of the year, to next year, and then that all fell apart.
We'll move on from that.
Move on from that one. But I'm saying, who's going to get better than DMAC? This group loves him. That's part of coaching. We always worry about the X's and the O's, which is very important. We worry about high profile, which is also very important. Who got a higher profile than Daryl McDonald? I just don't like, Coach, how his name just gets slept on for way too long. He's been here since '94, championship winner.
3 championships, 3.
3 titles. I mean, come on, man. His resume speaks for itself. And how I heard, was it Alex Dukas talking about him? I mean, the young guys love him. So you want them young guys to stick around in Brisbane? I'm signing DMAC right now.
What I love about DMAC is he still has that player competitiveness about him. He's never going to lose it, and it shows up in his press conferences at times. Let's have a listen to him.
Coming into the season, that was the plan was to get him to be, like, you know, be the best center in the league, like dominate your position. You know what I mean? And again, he's had some really, really good ones. You know what I mean? And he's had some games that hasn't been so good. But for him, like, since I've taken over, I've given him. I want to give him an opportunity to be the best guy. Like I said, be the best big in the league. Like, we're gonna come to you, man. We want you to make plays. We're gonna put you in pick and rolls. We want you to make plays. Like defensively, be solid. Win your position. I thought he did that game. We didn't win the game, but I thought he won his position against Edwards.
I love that, the win your position, because there's a little part of us just like, you know what, I used to win all the one-on-one battles all the time, and he gives that confidence to his players. Tyrell Harrison just quietly continues this form under DMAC. He's going to get that NBA opportunity. He was so close last year. The Brisbane Bullets, before we chat about the win they did have over the New Zealand Breakers, they had some news with Hunter Maldonado signing on as an injury replacement for Dakota Matthias. We thought that Hunter should stay around. They went out there and said, and DMAC and the clubs come out and said, hey, we think we can make a run at this, which is why we're bringing him in to help out. You know why I love this? Because he's already in the country. He's played in this league, and he knows the league. Yes, he's not shooting the ball great, but he's another body. Brisbane are struggling with health. Those guys are going down like pins. But now you got a guy who can come in and give Norton a break. Norton doesn't have to worry about playing defense on one end and scoring on the other end. You got somebody who can come in, give him a break. He comes back fresh and plays the defense that Norton usually plays. And plus, imagine the pick and roll with this guy and Harrison. Now you got somebody who can play.
And Hunter was not playing bad basketball with the Phoenix. No, he was playing some good basketball. Now, you look about, speaking of Phoenix, like when Josh King first took over from Mike Kelly and Sam McKinnon, and then he took him a while to put his stamp on the team, and now look at the Phoenix. Yep. And then he went out and recruited a guy just like after his own heart, John Brown III. Imagine what D-Mac could do with a year recruiting. Yep. Go to New York, come back with a 6'4" younger D-Mac.
From Rucker Park?
From Rucker Park, Coach. Come on, man. This is the popular, not just popular, but it makes so much sense to me that D-Mac should lead this team going forward.
On the Hunter Maldonado side, it's interesting. Obviously, they can go and they can still make a play in tournament spot, but if they get mathematically ruled out, I don't want to see the development of the young guys get taken away with bringing that in. So that's the flip side of trying to figure out whether it's a great move. If they can get a couple more wins, which, again, maybe they can because they absolutely dismantled the New Zealand Breakers. You talk about the joy that was in this whole venue from DMAC, all the players. It would have felt so great for him. Looking at that game, watching it, you could not believe this was the same Brisbane Bullets we spoke about 2 months ago.
They just came off the Phoenix beatdown. Phoenix beat them about 29. 48 hours later, they got to go home. This is DMAC's first game, lose by 29. Go home, and who was out? Tane Murray. Tane Murray is out. So now they already Sammy Mack. They extra depleted. Yep. And what do? D-Mac, again, circled the wagons, simplified everything. He was coaching as if he was still playing the point. I'm listening to his time. I was going, when everybody was a little confused, Coach, he says, no, you do this. You know what I mean? Just totally directed, not just some general bland, let's go, fellas kind of stuff. So that was the biggest upset win, considering how much New Zealand had riding on that game, Coach.
Brisbane did the job. They got the job done, and we called that game. And I said, D-Mac's just simplifying everything. You bring it down, you're throwing the ball inside, and you're playing. But then whenever someone made a mistake or messed up, he's going to call you out on it. He's going to let you know you got to do better. Now, a lot of coaches do that, but D-Mac has that respect factor that when you mess up, they look at you and say, hey, you can't do that again, or you're going to be sitting next to me.
Well, it does, again, heat up the race for the 6th spot. Now, you mentioned there's still just under half the season to go. Here is the battle for 6th, where Tasmania, now it's a bit closer. Could you imagine if they had beat New Zealand, the gap that they would have felt a little bit more comfortable going into the big game tonight against the Phoenix? The Breakers are right there, poised to strike. You mentioned the Hawks with a couple of games in hand as well. The Bullets, who can, if they win a few more, it's going to be harder for, obviously, a lot of these teams to do it. But as we always say in the NBL,
anything can happen. But looking at that ladder right there, based off of today, I can only go off the reality. I'm saying the New Zealand Breakers are the 6th best team. That's
over Tassie.
Over Tassie. I'm going to say New Zealand, and because Petrie Copeland, man, I hope he stays for a long time. His team must be the most frustrating to coach because they can give you one game really good, another game really bad. But everybody's doing it. Same thing with Scott Ross' Tasmania team. But I feel like New Zealand got more pieces. 4 guys, 6'10", and Parker, who you can count on night in and night out. Obviously, Kareem Lopez, when he decides to get busy, he's very good. I feel like they're the danger team for mine.
6 and 7 for me. It makes basketball, it makes the NBL. This is why I sit on the couch and go, who's going to get in? And this is what the NBL is all about. Whoever plays the best the next 4 or 5 games will get in.
Well, Tasmania's game tonight is obviously going to be huge because we'll break that down very shortly. And that's the second 6-7 reference from the guy on the panel. So let's get to a break and we'll talk about the Ignite Cup coming after this.
down here for Jackson Cartwright from way outside. Oh, he makes it home. Can they get it back to single figures? Tyrell Harrison for 3. Oh, yes!
Big fella, I love to see that, Tyrell.
The Mitsubishi Motors leading threes, and I tell you what, every time Nathan Sobey gets a little bit closer to Bryce Cotton, the 5-time MVP, says, he says, no way. I'm going to continue to put up an incredible season from Bryce Cotton, DJ Vasiljevic doing it coming off the bench. Bryce Hamilton as well. He can score at all 3 levels, but he's climbing up the standings as well.
I want a 3-point shootout. I want an all-star game and a 3-point shootout and dunk contest. Man, Make it happen.
Hey, Damon, you get what you want in this league, man. You just asked for it. You got it, pal. We got
Preaching to the choir, though. I want to see a 3-point contest. We've got some incredible shooters. Geordie Hunter would probably be in that contest right now, the way he's shooting. The Ignite Cup every Wednesday. We're getting to the pointy end of that. February 22nd is the final. And here is the ladder as it currently stands, with Adelaide getting to second spot with a big win over the Cairns Taipans. They're 2-1. They have one more game left in the Ignite Cup against the Brisbane Bullets. And I tell you what, there's only 2 teams mathematically out of it. That are the Taipans and the Kings. And the 400K is getting closer.
Now, here's the thing with this Ignite Cup. As awesome as it is a great, wonderful concept. It's found money. But it's the concept in our brains because we can't see it. Suitcase. 400 stacks in the suitcase, cold hard cash. Let players walk past that and try to be all cool about it. You know what I mean?
Isn't it funny how guys play harder when they know it's a little extra change going in your pocket? You tie your shoes up a little bit tighter. You're diving after balls. Now, you're playing deep. You're up and in playing defense. Why are these guys playing so hard? New Zealand are a different team on Wednesday night. I've called every game. Wednesday night, they look like the Chicago Bulls, man, back in the day. Come on, man.
Well, I mean, I'm a Sam Menenga, that's a different conversation altogether. He's about to be a free agent and potentially get that marquee money, but he's on a rookie deal still. So that money matters. I know for the winning teams, $300,000, currently split 60 to the players, 40 to the club. And I keep saying this. Once we know who's playing off for it, we'll put a bit of heat on that. That's got to be bumped up a little more.
Found money. Yeah, owners, come on now. You guys got enough. You got enough. Make it 90-10.
Let's look at the standings one more time because we are getting to the pointy end. There's only 7 games left. A big doubleheader coming our way on Wednesday. Now, fellas, I know everyone's penciled in the New Zealand Breakers to be there. Southeast Melbourne Phoenix have only played the 1 game. So if they can continue off the way they're playing the regular season, Adelaide played Brisbane in their last game. So if Adelaide can do what they've been doing to a lot of other teams, they'll leapfrog them. The Wildcats are right there as well. It might come down to a New Zealand and Southeast Melbourne Phoenix game over which one meets Adelaide in the Ignite Cup final.
But listen, Brisbane are a different team now in the DMAC. They're not going to just give up those quarters. They're going to play a lot harder. And New Zealand played differently on Wednesday. So I think I like the way it looks right now. I'm just going to leave it the way it is.
New Zealand playing Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, too, later in the season. Head-to-head.
It's going to matter. It's going to be a big one. I tell you what, Copes, you thought you were here for the cupcake. I'm sorry, I had to lie to you, but you weren't. You're here to talk about the Supercoach. Now, 14,000 people play against Damon every week. Last week, how many people do you think beat him?
14,000 play against Damon, and I know Damon, he's into this. I reckon 800 would have beat you. Not many.
800?
Not many.
Jeez, that is good. Why are you two such good
Nah,
friends? Here's the ticker there. We'll have a look. 4,000. And I thought it was going to be a lot more because JaVale missed the game. And I tell you what, maybe, and this is the only compliment you get from me, maybe, just maybe, you are a Supercoach.
I don't know if there's a Supercoach Hall of Fame, but I got to be first ballot. I beat over 10,000 of you without JaVale McGee one game. So you know what I did this week coming up?
What'd you do?
I just figured I'm a little bored. I'm getting complacent, Coach. I'm winning so much. I experimented. This team, I got a lot of Adelaide 36ers.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, because I know they all hate me. But we all on the same team this round. So I got Bryce Cotton as my vice captain. I got Isaac Humphries, who had a quiet game. I got Flint Cameron, who balled out for me. Isaac White. I even threw in Jacob Holt and Keanu Rasmussen for salary cap purposes.
Yeah, Keanu gave you a negative, which is not going to help your super coach. You can get involved right there with the QR code every single round. And I tell you what, if you are getting involved, jump onto socials because some people put out some personal challenges. And I tell you what, if you get him on a good day, nobody wants to be challenged more personally than Damon Lowery. So you can put some other things up for grabs. We'll be up to wrap up the show right after this because there's a big game coming up in Tasmania. Well, it doesn't get any bigger on a Monday night. The Tasmania JackJumpers hosting the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. One team trying to hold on to 6th spot, one team trying to hold on to 2nd spot, and there's superstars everywhere. Nathan Sobey and then Bryce Hamilton. Geez, that's a matchup worth watching.
Yeah, it is. 2 high-octane scores right there. Nathan is at the career best form. Bryce Hamilton, the Pasadena smooth score. It's going to be lively, but I'm looking forward to seeing John Brown III and who is he going to go to, because good luck to you when he's on you.
Got to be Bryce Hamilton, surely.
No.
He's got to have to go to Bryce Hamilton.
He's going to go to Josh Bannon.
Bannon, I reckon he'd go to Josh Bannon.
So who goes to Bryce Hamilton?
Nobody. I don't know.
Malik Lewis is back, which is good. He's on a minutes
And he
restriction.
shot the ball extremely well last time they played down there
He's
as
on
well.
a minutes restriction.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate saying that around you.
Wow.
But Tasmania, we keep talking about their home record. They used to be a fortress down there. You used to fear going down there. Huge chance now to right the wrongs over a Southeast Melbourne Phoenix team who, you talk about defence travelling, it doesn't matter where they play. You could roll the ball out anywhere. They're going to play one way, and that is incredibly hard defensively. But this for Tasmania, if they want to be legit, they've got to take care of business at home.
Surely they can't lose back-to-back. I always like to back a Tasmania coach Ross team after a bad loss. Was that loss bad enough to warrant a violent reaction? I think so, but I trust the Phoenix's style, I think, more than that.
What about you?
Does Phoenix add Ian Clark? Is Ian Clark playing?
Ian Clark has been told he's going to be suiting up, and we'll see how much he's thrown in there. So the other part of that is how quickly do you want to get him up to speed? They've had 9 days rest. Do you want to see him play the minutes, nearly the full minutes he'd be normally playing off the bench, or just a couple of minutes?
My question is he going to play the way the coach wants him to play? Ian Clark is a shooter. It's hard to go from being a scorer and a shooter to getting up and in. You can do it, but it's hard.
He's probably in some decent enough shape because he's worked out a nice little chink. I'm just going to sit out half the season, hang around, come back in for the back half, try to get me a championship.
Get that check.
But he is not in Phoenix shape, that's for sure, not right now.
No.
Well, that's what Josh King said about Wesley Wando too, was on a minutes restriction to start because he wasn't in the game shape. The Josh King game shape is different to any other team in the league.
Absolutely it is. What team in the world professionally gets up and in and plays defense like that? I don't know a team except Southeast Melbourne.
I tell you what, Damon, we're getting closer to the overtime awards, by the way, and we've got to start putting together the all-defensive team, all the cupcake of the year and everything. But, Copes, thank you for jumping on, man. It's been terrific.
Hell of a cameo.
Thanks, guys.
We got a big game coming up after this, and as we said, we're going to have the overtime awards during the back end of the next FIBA break. And I tell you what, comeback player of the year might just be Lanard Copeland because this was a phenomenal effort from him. We're down in Tasmania right after this. The JackJumpers host the Phoenix. Don't go anywhere.